Hey, did you know that there's one project management skill that gets you noticed and even promoted faster, and it shows up at every meeting you attend? Think of this. If you stay quiet, you stay invisible. But when you use this skill, leaders start asking for you by name. So what skill are we talking about? Well, it's facilitation. Facilitation is the art of turning chaos into clarity. And it's not about authority, it's about creating momentum. Facilitators frame the objective, surface the decision, summarize options, assign ownership, and timestamp the next step. Think of it this way. Without facilitation, meetings drift, deadlines slip, and your name stays off the short list. But with facilitation, you become the person that moves things forward. You build trust, visibility, and influence, all without needing a title. So let's talk about how to facilitate without authority. Here's your 3-step move to practice facilitation. Step 1 is listen for intent. While you're in the meeting, quietly listen for the real objective and the decision hiding underneath it. Step 2 is to step forward and summarize. You could say something like, what I'm hearing is X is the goal, Y is the decision, and there are 2 options. And finally and simply, propose the smallest next step. For example, I recommend we try option 1. If we do that, Sam's team could run with it and be done by Friday. I'll recap and send a summary to the whole team. Now, when you do these steps, you may feel the room kind of go silent because suddenly you spoke up out of nowhere. Well, here's a pro tip for you. When the room goes quiet after you speak, it's because what you said was either uninformed or brilliant. Now, if you frame things clearly, it's most likely going to be the second reason. Here's a few style tips for you as you facilitate. Don't dominate and don't apologize. Facilitate and then hand the baton back to the person who is in the lead. Remember that brevity plus listening equals grace. By the way, I have a free From Support to Lead guide for you. There's a link in the description below. So the next thing you want to do is scale your facilitation with artifacts. Start doing this after you have facilitated a few sessions in live settings. Decision logs are things like dates, task owners, context information. Next would be status updates, talking about the actions in play, the risks, and mitigation to those risks. And you also ought to try making a 1 to 2 page pre-read document. This is a good decision document that frames the objective, the decisions, and the options. Let's talk about tips for facilitation. You've heard the old adage of surround yourself with people that you want to be like. Well, one of the things you can do with facilitation is model the leaders that you watch daily and see how they behave and how they carry themselves, how they facilitate meetings. Another thing you can do is talk to your supervisor or manager and ask for once a week a 10-minute session where you can recap the things you've done and talk about the impacts that they had and kind of frame this as a career development meeting. As you do this, it's creating valuable social proof for you. Leaders will begin to see the outcome of the actions you took in facilitation. Shorter meetings, quicker decisions. And a bonus to that is you're going to get pulled into more conversations. One of the final things I can offer up is make your impact undeniable. You need to start tracking things. Record simple metrics weekly like decisions made, action items closed, time to decision, and meeting duration deltas. For example, was the meeting supposed to last 30 minutes and it lasted 45? People don't like that. And if you can make it last 15 because of your facilitation, that's a good thing that people will notice. Also, record your before and after proof. For example, meetings dropped in time. Decisions were acted upon quicker. Results were gained faster. And signal your presence. Send a note to your manager to talk about 2 or 3 things that you did with your facilitation for the week. And then volunteer for some small facilitation reps and stand-ups, postmortems, that kind of meeting. The point is, these reps turn support into leadership, all in plain sight. So to wrap it up, what are you going to do this week? Go ahead and frame the objective, name the decision, assign the next step, and record it. So your homework for this week? Facilitate once per meeting. Create one artifact. Log one measurable outcome. Your visibility will increase as you're showing your sincere interest in leadership. So just start small today, show impact during the week. Let your reputation do the talking. So that wraps it up. Drop a comment below if facilitation is a skill you're building. And for more aspiring project manager content, consider subscribing to my free Being a Project Manager newsletter. You can find a link in the description below.